Good morning, Vinyl community. It's Sunday, the 18th of December. Steve here with some more of his recent finds from local charity shop closure and donations to Oxfam. Quite a lot of these are from albums that actually date from the 80s, which I was quite pleased to pick up. So, week to go to Christmas. I'm not feeling the excitement. I don't think I'm getting older. I just, sort of see Christmas as a bit more of just a commercial celebration and not for really what it should be about. But saying that, being materialistic, I'm going to show you some behind what I've picked up. So, first up, this is Nick Kershaw, Human Racing, his debut album. Two big singles off here were Wouldn't It Be Good and I Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. He was quite a respected musician actually, Nick Kershaw. He ended up being on the poppier fringes. Second album, which I'm trying to get hold of, the Riddle, for the title track. That's a great song. Very 80s. I think he's more on the writing and production side now, Nick Kershaw. I know my sister liked him a lot when he first came out. Next up, another 80s staple of the 80s, King, their debut album, Step in Time. Paul King, Trainee Policeman. They made another album. This was a popular album at that time because the single Love and Pride, I think, got to number 2 in the UK singles charts. And the big thing was about painting your Doc Martin boots. They had another album, and he did try and launch a solo career. But Paul King's probably more well known now as for his work on MTV, VH1. He was a presenter for a long time, and he ended up becoming he's now working for the MTV Networks Europe as a producer. Another 80s album in good condition. It's John Cougar Mellencamp, Scarecrow. I've always liked John, whatever name he uses. I just thought it's so accessible, his music. I think this album sort of sums it up a bit. I mean, you got Small Town on there, and which sort of defines what life growing up in Indiana was like for Mellencamp, and I think it sort of signifies quite for the majority of people. We don't live in the big cities. We're quite happy where we are, and I think it sort of reflects in the Brexit vote and the people that voted in the election vote in America. People in a small town tend to worry about what their needs, not what goes on in the big city. The other big single track on here is ROCK in the USA, which is a homage to all the artists that Mellencamp sort of followed as a youth. A good album. I want to get some more stuff by Mellencamp. Next up is Cargo by Men at Work. This was the follow-up to, I think it was Business as Usual was the main album. This has got Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive on it and Overkill. I can't really compare because I've never actually listened to Business as Usual. I know the songs Down Under and Who Can It Be Now, but it ain't a bad album. It ain't great, but it ain't a bad album. For what it is, good condition. A lot of these albums were in good condition. Really near mint. I think it's around the time people started to buy the CDs, so they stopped playing the vinyl. Now, this is something that's not from the 80s, definitely the 70s. Really pleased I found this. This is the Motors, and this is Approved by the Motors, that title of the album. And it's got the hit singles Airport and Forget About You. Very much emerged from the pub rock scene of London and got tagged a little bit into the new wave. This, I think, album is all you need, really. In regards to I mean, sort of like the greatest hits, because they're really greatest hits. I think there's a David album which has got "Dancing the Night Away," which I do have as a single, which I showed you some time back, and yeah, another great album. Really pleased to have that. Now, in a couple of videos ago, I showed you a copy of John Cale album, which I picked up from the Closing St Giles, which didn't have a sleeve to it. It didn't have anything. It was just a bare record. And another such record was Mott the Hoople's Wildlife. And I picked it up mainly because Mott the Hoople on an island is quite. I don't know if it's rare, but I've never seen one before. And yes, the condition of the record ain't great, to be quite honest. But it only cost me 30p, so get Mott Hoople for 30p. So I've put it, it's in. I've cleaned it up best I can. It's okay, but, probably wants me to explore some more Mott the Hoople. May have to save me pennies though, because it tends, especially the island stuff, tends to be very expensive. Next album, back to the 80s, we've got Alison Moyet's debut album, Alf. Released the year after Yazoo split up. I think it was a bit of an acrimonious split, if I remember. And Love Resurrection was the debut single, top 10. All Cried Out and Invisible. They were the singles of the album. Yeah. She's got a fine voice. Music may not be everyone's cup of tea, but she does know how to belt it out. And I'm quite pleased they've got this. They may look at getting a couple more albums. Career sort of goes in peaks and troughs. I think towards the end of the 80s, she sort of disappeared from view a little bit. And then a Greatest Hits compilation came out in the 90s, which really sold well for her. Suddenly reminded everyone how good a voice she's got. And she's kept plugging away and recording and playing shows. I think she's happy at the level she's got with her career. Next album, this is 70s. This is Mud's Use Your Imagination. This came out in 1975 on the Private Stock label. At that time, they'd left Rack, and in fact, it reflects that they were no longer. Mike Chapman, Nicky Chinn were no longer writing for them. They were starting to write their own stuff, or get outside writers. On here, I think the single that I know is La 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 Lucy. They do their own versions of Bird Dog, Under the Moon of Love. It's typical 70s fare, really. They were never an albums band. Mud were a singles band, and I think that sort of reflects. And I think the time was starting to. They'd hit their peak in '74, and I think the time had started to go. Single, number one single from 1982, Musical Youth, and Past the Dutchie. 1982 this came out. It does bring back memories. I just started work in 1982. I wasn't impressed when it came out, actually. I just thought it was just kids. But for what it is, it's actually a good slabber pop, reggae pop. Sadly, the career sort of it sort of went downhill, and I think it's Patrick, and then there was the bass player. He sadly passed away. Drugs, I think, played a big part in it, and sort of disappeared. Went to two younger lads, session musicians, and I think the singer Dennis. I think he's now pastor or something like that. This is what this find I was really happy with. This is the Elvis Complete Sun Sessions double album. Which was issued in 1987 by RCA. All the Elvis's sons, That's All Right, Blue Moon, A Kentucky Mystery Train. You got some alternative takes on side 3 and 4, but this really, I suppose, where rock and roll starts. Like this piece of plastic in my hand, and I think it's worth having getting hold of a copy, because I think you've got the rawness, of Elvis when he started, and you could see why he became so popular. Just listening to this album, it's just the basic band really is great. Excuse me, time for a little slurp. Some singles. This one. This is Queen, Time of a Down. Backed with You and I from the Day of the Races album. It's got on here factory sample, not for sale. A sticker on there. I don't know if it's a sticker that was put on there afterwards or whatever. Love Queen. Good album a good single to have. Got the album. Pleased to pick up that. Then we got the Union Gap featuring Gary Puckett. It was the #1 single in the UK. Young Girl. I think Lady Willpower was his other big single as well. Pretenders, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Oh, sorry, no, Him to Her. Why have I got that in my head for? It's Him to Her, sorry. I'll have to forgive me. I had a bit of a good night with my brother and some of his mates, and I think I'm still suffering it this morning. Anyway, Him to Her. And it was from the Get Close album. And then Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. Classic #2 single in the UK. I don't know if you've ever heard the Foo Fighters version. Really, it's great. I think what reason this was so popular, because it was so different to what came out at the time. With Rafferty, with the sax break and wherever. I think it was quite a mellow sound, even though the subject was quite a depressing subject about a guy that was always kicking, who couldn't really settle down. So, yeah, some great singles. And then to finish off, I've got a couple of 12-inch singles here. This is Rocker's Revenge, and featuring Donny Calvin, and this is Walking on Sunshine. This was a big hit in 1982, written by Eddie Grant. This was I think Eddie Grant released this in 1979 as a single himself. A lot of remixes on there. Really enjoyed that. Brought back some memories, and it's in great condition. And then finally in the singles, a 12-inch single, I've got Rockwell, Somebody Watching Me, featuring Michael Jackson on vocals. One side's an instrumental version, the other is what's known as the 45 RPM disco mix. So it's Motown disco here. Love it. I love the cover. Love the record. In fact, I think this is one of the best things Michael Jackson ever got involved in. I think it's just a great single. I think Rockwell had something to do with Berry Gordy. I think that's the whole reason he ended up recording that album. So that's those finds. Hope you're well. I'm going off out to my sister's. It's my brother-in-law's birthday, so I'll drop his birthday card off, and I've got to get a few things. I think I've got to get some Christmas cards. I think a bit like with the post, it'll have to be local ones, and a few gift bags, and sort of get ready for next week. Just got a week up, 5 days at work. Break up next Friday, and have a few days off. A few days listening to some records. I've got still a fair few to wade my way through. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thanks for watching. I'd love to read any comments. Feel free to subscribe. As I say, if you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe back. And I have got 33 subscribers now, and if you bear with me, I'll find out who my latest subscriber was. It is somewhere. It's Ron Hegarty. Thanks, Ron. Subscribe back to you, so enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.